Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm exhausted. Um, actually, I just stopped by the doctor's. I had to get a note because HR had let me go home today because I wasn't able to focus very well. So back to orientation tomorrow or training. Yeah, training tomorrow. But wanted to go live while I'm here and make a video about ISFPs. A quick rundown. I'm not going to spend too much time on this video because I really need to get some rest, but ISFPs are incredibly creative individuals. But unlike a lot of personality types, they don't really express their creativity very often with a specific hobby. Like people might make music. That could work, but ISFPs generally aren't painters. They're not people who write poetry and stuff like that. It's for them. It's a little bit too tedious, um, just because their craving for creativity is directly expressed from their FE, their main cognitive function. Um, or I'm sorry, FI. Pardon me, introverted feeling, which basically is the opposite of extroverted feeling in a sense. In a nutshell, their inner values come from the way they feel about the world and injustice and right and wrong. So something that they feel is wrong would consequently mean that they are going to live their life in a way that seems right. So if it's wrong to steal, then they will live their life with a strong sense of justice against the concept or act of stealing. And this means in every way. However, um, this also means, since it's regarding the way that they feel, that they will oftentimes reflect on how they're feeling. And this will be a time when the ISFP needs to be alone. You could say these are times whenever they're introverted, way more often than it normally seems. ISFPs are they can sometimes seem ambiverted, honestly. They can be talkative or they can just take in their surroundings. But at the end of the day, they are still introverts. Much like the INFJ can seem like an extrovert, because we have extroverted tendencies, we are still introverts. We might talk for 30 minutes straight, and you wouldn't even guess that we're introverts. ISFPs are very similar. They're very spontaneous, unlike the ESFP, which likes to make everyone feel like they're the life of the party, and every visit with their friends to them is a treasured moment, and they want their friends to live in that treasured moment with them. The ISFP is a little bit different in that they want to live in the moment, and living in the moment is a direct expression of what they treasure. So that's pretty ambiguous. Let me see if I can't break it down. ISFPs need to be able to react and respond to every present moment. They cannot go to a job where they are stuck doing the same thing all day long. Warehouse work, it's not for them. Um, a desk job, just sitting there all day, not for an ISFP. Doesn't work. Think of another one. A job that might work for an ISFP is being a personal trainer or a social worker. Get to constantly see what's going on and see something new, hear new events, connect with the family, actually get to talk to the person and express themselves in the moment. Or, like I said, a personal trainer, being able to constantly expose yourself in different ways to different environments. Jobs that allow the ISFP to express themselves in the moment are pretty critical, because an ISFP cannot be restricted. There's one thing an ISFP does not do. It is a system. Which, ironically enough, is exactly what they need in an ideal partner. An ISFP is best suited with an ES type or an FE type. Why is because they are incredibly. If you look at the ISFP's best match, and I think one of them was an ENFP. I'd have to double check on that. But basically, The INFJ, or not INFJ, ISFP's weakest cognitive function is their most logic-oriented process that does away with creativity altogether. It's a pretty big paradox. The ISFP can sometimes feel like they are trapped in weird this weird sense of dull existence, like just meh. It's melancholy. It's just meh. They feel this way because these are the times whenever they don't understand how to express themselves. Whatever they're going through or whatever situation they are in, as an introvert, they need to understand how to react to their environments. And that's something that an ISFP excels at, is responding in the moment. Spontaneity is their key trademark. They love it. It makes them feel alive. It makes them feel like every moment is a chance to live with their FI expressed. Which leads me to their extroverted sensings. They love to experience the world through their five senses: what they hear, what they see, what they taste, enjoying quality food, or looking at the clouds and just letting their NI run in the background and get inspiration on how they want to express themselves and reflect on their introverted feeling and how they feel about life, and that's whenever their NI allows them to start running, and they when they're, let's say they're just looking at a cloud, or relaxing and enjoying nature, listening to the birds chirp. They love it. It's refreshing, and it allows them to really reflect on through their extroverted sensing, bring that sense of calm and atmosphere and tranquility that only nature and running water and a waterfall. And believe me, an INFJ has no problem just sitting near rushing water, closing her eyes and listening to it. We're right there with you. We are right there with you. Actually, we need it, but not as much as you, and not as much as you. So, when you engage your senses in this way, it allows you to reflect inwardly on how you feel about the world, and that tranquility helps to relieve the stressor of feeling like you constantly have to deal with something. Because when your NI is running in the background, and it's based off of connecting back to your FE, or your, I'm sorry, I keep saying FE, FI, your introverted feeling, then you're constantly weighing this balance of moral and ethical code that you live by, and that can be exhausting. And the raw logical process of your thinking function leaves you feeling like you don't really have an outlet. It's just something that you do. It's kind of like going through the motions. Not really, but it's your least preferred function. Logic is your least preferred function because logic means that you don't get to live life in the moment, and that's what's important to you. As someone who bases their way of life on how they feel, the moment you start thinking logically, you're no longer focusing on how you feel, and that means that you aren't really living. You are someone who needs to be able to have purpose, and you find purpose through living out your moral code, your sense of justice, your ethics, your way of life. Not to sound too ninja and anime, but Naruto's ninja way. It's your ninja way. You can't abandon that. It's part of who you are. It's your purpose. It's your drive. It's your ambition. It's your goal. It's you. It defines you. It defines how you feel, how you approach the world, how you perceive the world. And to have to turn that off because you have to think logically is very, very tasking. You try to never do it, and it's honestly your Achilles heel, because it can really drain you when you think logically for too long. That's why you prefer to act now, think later. Usually, just rely on your gut feeling. Hey, intuition's got this, right? I don't need to understand everything, and it usually works out. That's how an ISFP thinks. It's going to work out somehow. No, I don't know where I'll be 20 years. I just know from now, I just know that I won't be here. And that's a good thing, because that means anything that happens is just going to pass. But as for me, the sun's up right now, and I have to go spend some time feeling the wind breeze across my face and listening to birds chirping. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get to see a deer. Wow, look at that. That's so rare. They'll capture that moment and they will relish it. It invigorates them. So this is just an outline of an ISFP. Let me know if you want me to go more in detail, and I will on any specific area.